Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. I am so excited to be here in Most Want I Will. I'm looking in the camera, getting my hair all fixed, lights, camera, action, market. I'm so incredibly excited to be here. It's a little bit early. I'm supposed to start in a couple of minutes, but you never know how technology is going to react. I've been running this online business for several years, and one thing I am certain of is if you're right on time, technology usually does something wonky. So I wanted to make sure that I was here on time for you. I am so excited to be here with you this morning in Most Won't. I am super southern. Most won't I will. Most won't I will. Thank you to Sean for having me. I am Kendrick Shope, and we're going to wait a few minutes before we get started because I know it's not even 10 o'clock yet. It's not time to get started, but I just wanted to jump in and start saying hello, everybody. Isaac, hello. Ooh, Lilas, I'm probably not saying that beautiful name right. Hello, I am Kendrick Shope. I hope everybody is doing well, and I'm so excited to be here with y'all. I absolutely love doing these Facebook Lives. I do them in my group as well. And I love getting to interact with all of you amazing people. So I'm thrilled to be here. If you're just joining us, say hello. Let me know where you are. You know, one of the beauties of the internet and of Facebook and Instagram is, we get to talk to people all over the world. So Isaac, where are you joining us from? I'm sure I'm mispronouncing your name. Lilas, what a beautiful name. Let us know where you're joining from. And say hello. We're going to get started about 10. And let me tell you, if you're just now joining us, what you can look forward to ask from me. So one of the things I love about this group is that Sean has come in and he's brought in all these experts, because really, quite honestly, it takes a lot of different expertise to be able to run a business that makes money, right? And so, they're very rarely, actually never in my world, do you find somebody who's an expert at sales, an expert at marketing, an expert at business development, an expert at networking. It kind of takes all of these skills. And so I love what Sean has done here with coming in and bringing in some experts to help you be able to get your questions answered by the experts. It's really a cool thing. If you're just joining us, let us know. Let me know. I'm not an us. I'm not a plural. Let me know you're here. Say hello. Hello, Melanie. Let me know where you are. I like to know where we're talking from. Let's see, Arizona, and I'm in the UK. Awesome. Hello from the other side of the pond in Arizona. Good morning. Thanks for letting me know. It's straight up and down 10 o'clock here and in Bentonville, Arkansas. I'm in Bentonville, Arkansas. So we're going to get started answering some of your questions. Again, for those of you watching, I am Kendrick Shope. I am an international sales expert. I have been running an online business for about 6 or 7 years, and I created the leading sales training for online entrepreneurs. And you can find me on Twitter at Kendrick Shope, on LinkedIn, here, Facebook, obviously, here in Most Won't I Will. You can find me at kendrickshope.com. I'm like one of those serial online entrepreneurs. I'm kind of everywhere. And so I'm so excited to be here to answer your questions. And so I'm going to put my glasses on. I'm going to put my eyeballs on, and I'm going to answer your questions. I've got them pulled up here on my phone. So Jonathan says, hey, Kendrick, welcome to the tribe. Thank you so much. I am so honored to be here. What are some things that can be added to landing pages to help build trust with a potential client? I already have reviews, badges, and an SSL certificate. This is a great question, Jonathan. So for anybody watching who doesn't know what a landing page is, back in the good old days, we called them squeeze pages. And that is just basically a way for you as an online business to collect email addresses. And a lot of you probably know that, but I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. And the reason that it's so important for you to collect email addresses is if you don't have an email list and you run an online business, you have no one to sell to. So it's just where you've done this. We've all opted in for this before. Some people call it a pink spoon, but it's where, give me your name and email address and I'll give you 10 keys to double your sales in 6 months or less. And people give you your name and email address. That's the opt-in. And a squeeze page is just a page that you can post on social media, that you can send in emails, that sells people into your opt-in. Stereotypical squeeze pages, landing pages do not have a nav bar on the top or anywhere. So it doesn't have the home button, the about button, any of that stuff on the top. It just has the call to action. And so Jonathan's asking about what are some things we can do to build trust or help build trust with a potential customer. There are a couple of things here, Jonathan. So landing pages can be one of the first touches that a prospect or potential customer has with your business. They've got a problem. They're Googling. They're looking for a solution. And so a landing page or a squeeze page is your opportunity, what I say, to go vanilla ice on people. If you got a problem, I'll solve it. And so that's what the squeeze page or the landing page is. It's your opportunity to say, they're Googling, hey, I've got this problem. I'm not sleeping well at night. Your landing page pops up and says, hey, not sleeping well at night? Give me your name and email address for 10 keys to sleep better at night or whatever. So there are a couple of things you can do, Jonathan. Number one, the first thing is the opt-in box. That's where people put their name and their email address, needs to be above the fold. What that means is on mobile and on the computer, people don't need to scroll to find a place to put their email address. Now, your question was, how does this build trust? Well, it really builds trust because people don't have to think. They're looking for a solution to the problem. The copy on the landing page drives in there, and they don't even have time to think. They just give you your name and email address. You're more likely to get the email address if that opt-in box is above the fold. That's step number one. Step number two is I already have reviews, badges, SSL certificate. I have a hunch, Jonathan, that you may have too much on your squeeze page. So a squeeze page or landing page, a squeeze page has one job. A landing page has one job, and that is to get the email address. And so if there's a whole lot going on, then it's distracting from people trying to find a solution to their problem. So while you want to establish trust, if you've got, and you don't, but if you've got social media icons at the bottom of your page or somewhere, that doesn't build trust. Think about this. If somebody clicks on if they pull up a page, and they click on a Facebook icon at the bottom because you want to build trust as the expert, you want to build social proof, and they go off into Facebook land, you've missed an opportunity to get an email address. So landing pages or squeeze pages need to be super clean. So the majority of your copy needs to be above the fold, and the opt-in box needs to be above the fold, and it needs to get to the point. So Jonathan, think about what you do. What are 3 pain points that your customer or potential customer is experiencing before they work with you as it relates to how you can help them? And let's spell it out. Are you? Bam, bam, bam. Great. Get 10 keys to, again, double your sales in 6 months or less. It's free, name, email. All of that needs to be above the fold so I don't have to scroll. Then what you can do under that is put some testimonials or some reviews, but you don't want to have a whole lot going on. So the 2 things that are most important with the squeeze page and a landing page as far as building trust is you got to make it easy. Number 1, have the opt-in above the fold, have that name and email address box above the fold. Number 2 is make it easy to opt in. You know, don't have 5 million things going on. And actually there's a third thing. Have a branded thank you page. One of the easiest ways to look like an amateur is to have that thank you page after I give you my name and email address. Go to like an Entreport or a MailChimp. Thank you for opting in. No, take the time to put a branded thank you page on there. Those are the top 3 points, suggestions I would give you as far as landing pages are concerned for building trust. And the good news is those aren't hard. They're super easy. Jonathan, if you have more questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer them. Amy says, hello, Kendrick. Actually, she says, hi, Kendrick. I've recently started selling products online. I'm wondering if you have any website recommendations as far as platform. With WordPress, Shopify, Squarespace, there's so many to pick from. I sell custom single piece items that are made to order and a few things that are made in small batches. Thank you. Yeah, this is a great question, Amy. So I'm going to tell you what I would recommend. I would recommend WordPress, and here's why. It's what everybody in my industry uses. It's what my design, so this is not my area of expertise, but this is what everybody in my industry uses. It's what my design and development team recommended that we build KendrickShope.com on for various reasons, and I trust them. So one of the things I've learned after running this business for, nearly a decade is that there are experts out there, and I need to trust the experts. And I am not the design and development expert. I'm going to hire the expert. I'm going to hire the best people, and I'm going to trust their recommendations, and I'm going to trust them to fix it if it goes wrong. So our business, our online platform, was built on WordPress from the beginning. It's been very easy to use. It's very easy to make mobile friendly. As far as checkout, so if you've got WordPress, as far as checkout, I would say Shopify is a good starting place. And what I would also say is ask a designer. So if you have a designer that or a development person who works on websites, or if there's one in here, let's ask them. I have heard great things about Shopify. It's not something I do. Our shopping cart is run all through Entreport, which also houses our email list, but I would highly recommend WordPress because that's what my design and development team told me to do. So I don't have a good reason for you other than I hire experts and that's what experts told me to do, and I trust them. I also know that customers who have had shopping stores in the background on their WordPress site have had great luck with Shopify. So if I had my choice, if I was going to do this on my own from the get-go, those are the two I would start with, WordPress and Shopify. And that's what I would do. And then the third tip here would be hire somebody who really knows what they're doing. It's worth the investment to get that shop done right the first time so that you're not trying to make mistakes. In the beginning, I did a lot of things where I tried to do stuff myself. We call it bootstrapping in the South. And you have to bootstrap some. I know you have to bootstrap some when you start a business, and I did a lot of it. But I also made a lot of mistakes that ended up costing me time and money. And with technology, unless you happen to be good at this, I would say it's worth the investment to get it done right. So I hope that helps, Amy. Nice to meet you. Lisa says, hello. Hi, Lisa. I have a bridal store. Any tips on how to keep the mood happy and the energy high when someone starts sucking the life out of it? Most of the times it's moms or jealous BFFs. While we focus on the bride, we do our best to diffuse it. Sometimes you lose the excitement and it's hard to get it back at the end of the appointment to close. Any cues or tips? I love this question. It's funny. I got a similar question. I was teaching. I did a corporate sales training the past 3 days. And I was training a sales team for a corporation, and somebody actually asked a really similar question about people who suck the energy out of the room. So Lisa, my first question to you would be, if we were sitting down and having a glass of wine or a glass of coffee together, I would have a follow-up question to that. And it would be, what are you already doing? So, and I'd love to, if you want to come back in and tell me what you're already doing, I'm happy to give you some suggestions, but I'd love to know what you're already doing. Obviously, to do some things, I'm sure, like the music and candles and things that sort of set the ambiance. But specifically, if it's moms or jealous BFFs, something I would ask myself is, how can we do the common things uncommonly well? So what I would do is I would think about what other bridal stores do. What is the experience like? And it's been a long time since I got married. I guess it was 15 years ago. But, gosh, and I don't remember much about the whole wedding dress shopping experience, but my mom went with me, and I do remember that, trying the dress on. I remember it being a little stressful, not because my mom was being a pain in the ass, but because it was a stressful time. And so, I remember, and this is just my personal experience, so I'm thinking here, I remember being hot. I remember sweating, which wasn't fun. So I would say make it temperature appropriate for brides who are taking off their clothes and putting on their dress. And then I would look at what other bridal stores do, and I would say, okay, this is something we want to do uncommonly well. So normally, bridal shops have people sit around and the bride comes out, she's trying on the dresses and people are giving a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So off the top of my head, how can we make the moms and the jealous best friends, feel valued? And I don't know the answer to this, so I'm giving you some things to think about. How can we make them feel valued? How can we make them feel like part of the day? Part of that could just be the way that you interact with them. So if I owned a bridal shop, what I would do is, yes, it's all about the bride, but I would say something like this. Lisa, let's pretend you're the bride. So I would say, Lisa, it is such an honor to have you here today. I'm so excited to work with you to create, that perfect look. I'd like to take the time to get to know the people that you brought with you. So would you introduce me to the people that you brought with you and tell me why they're here? And let Lisa brag on them, right? So this is not just this is my mom, but this is my mom who I love. This is my best friend who I've known since 5th grade. So, and if the bride doesn't feel comfortable doing that, then maybe you could ask those questions. So mom, okay, great, you're here. Obviously you're here because you're important in your daughter's life. Okay, best friend, Samantha, you're here. How long have you known the bride? Oh my gosh, I see why she wants you here. Compliments are good at diffusing negative energy. So maybe you could find a way to compliment. Mom, you look amazing. Samantha, best friend, those shoes are fabulous. I see why Lisa wanted you here with her. So I think that there are a couple of things to think through. Number one is look at how other bridal shops do that. That's a common thing. Every bridal shop has people trying on dresses and say, how can you do it uncommonly well? You know, in the movies you see people give champagne and things like that. But those people, if they are getting jealous, need to feel valued. They want to feel like they're part of the day. So compliment them. That would be number two. Find out why the bride wanted them here. And the other thing, and it is all about the bride, but taking the time to really make those people feel acknowledged and feel heard and to get to know them might be a good way to start that. So how can you do the common things uncommonly well? And that's just a couple of suggestions. All right, the next question is, I have an online store selling bath and body products. I am brand new and traffic to my website is pretty much zero. It always is when you're brand new. What would you recommend to increase traffic to my store? Would it be Facebook ads or Instagram ads? Yeah, this is a great question. So first things first, normally when people are brand new, I do not recommend Facebook ads or Instagram ads because you're still getting to know your market. So I'm going to, and usually people don't have a ton of extra money. Let me be really clear. Facebook ads and Instagram ads work. So if you're going to hire Facebook and Instagram ads out, I'm happy to recommend you to someone. I have someone who works for us. She's, I think, the best in the business. I do not get an affiliate commission for recommending her, but if you want an introduction to her, I'm happy to make that. She's amazing. She will get a return on your investment. I feel confident. There are a lot of people out there who don't know how to do Facebook ads who say they do. There are a lot of people out there who don't know how to do Instagram ads that say they do. So I would say you want to work with this person, or work with someone who knows what they're doing. And so that is number one, doing your homework. Something else you can do. So what you said is I have an online store selling bath and body products. I would start taking advantage. I would get social. So statistics show that businesses that use social media make 78% more money than businesses who don't. 78% more money than businesses who don't. So I would get social and I would use Facebook and Instagram. One of the things I would do is I would review a product every day. So, or every Monday we have a product review. So let's say you sell bath and body products and you sell this lipstick. So today, you know, you get on, you do some small talk. Where are you from? Today we're going to review this all natural brownie lip color and I'm going to put it on, let people see you using it. And this is what customers say about it. And this is who it's for. And this is who it's not for. So I would do that. So number one, if you're going to use Facebook or Instagram ads, it's a fine way to go. It'll work if you get the right people. Number two, review a product a day. Number three, use the holidays so you do this in the media lots of times. You look at current news cycles and what's going on in the media as you pitch to get focused on the media, and you say, how can we use that to get on the media? So for example, I've been in media a lot talking about 8 holiday shopping tips. So, and I'm a sales expert. So 8 holiday shopping tips from a sales expert. So what this means for you is this is not about me, it's about you, but we know the holidays are coming up. So, you know, not only would I review a product a day, but I would talk about these. I would do a stocking stuffer. These are great stocking stuffers, you know, and they're inexpensive. This is a great gift for teachers. As the first of the year rolls around, the news cycle or what's relevant is going to change, right? People are into health. People are into whatever. So if you have bath and body products that hydrocellulite, I would review those. If you have bath and body products that are all natural, I would review those. So I would use what's currently going on in the world, in the news cycle, in the whatever, with holidays to review those products. So 3 tips there. Number one, if you're going to do Facebook and Instagram ads, get the right people, period. Kind of what we told the first person here about hiring an expert for their website. Number 2, to do a product review. Every Monday we do a product review, or every day we do a product review. And in the beginning, don't get caught up about how many people are watching. It's more about just doing it. Eventually, you know, as you're doing Instagram lives and things like that, bring a customer on who's bought this and have them try it on and tell why they love it. And then the third thing is look at what's currently going on with holidays and tie your products to that, stocking stuffers, or first of the year, you know, ways to get healthy or whatever. So those are 3 tips for you for your bath and body store. Good luck. That's amazing. Patricia says, when you launched your online program, how far in advance did you start marketing? Did you have an ebook or some other lead magnet? Was there one thing that afterwards you thought, if I'd only done that, this would have been faster or better quality? Yeah, it's a great question. So the first answer to this, Patricia, is if you're going to launch an online program, start now with a freebie. The freebie is the most important part of an online business, besides you and besides your customer, because without people on an email list, you don't have anyone to sell to. Doesn't matter how good your program is. If you don't have people on an email list, you don't have anybody to sell to. Now, you may be able to come onto social media and sell, but you want an email list. You want to house those people in your database. So step number one to running any kind of online business is abso-freaking-lutely get a freebie up. Step number two is that freebie doesn't need to be an ebook. Think about this. Logically speaking, do you want to download an ebook? No. People don't want to download an ebook. Ebook is not sexy. It doesn't sell. There's no reason to want to download an ebook. Now, so the language matters here. So if your ebook addresses 6 ways to run Facebook ads without losing money, then just say, get 6 answers to run Facebook ads without losing money, but don't call it an ebook. I guarantee you, as sure as my hair is red, if we tested a landing page that was identical, this page said ebook, this page didn't, the page that did not say ebook would convert better. So step number one to running any online business is start collecting email addresses now. You cannot do that too soon. You cannot do that too soon if you're going to launch an online class. Start now. The next question is, so how far in advance did I start marketing? Well, so what I did was one-to-one. So I coached one-to-one for probably 16 months, one-to-one coaching. That whole time I had a freebie and opt-in, and I did all kinds of free training for people and podcast interviews and things like that to get my name out there. So for about 16 months, I did one-to-one, and then I did one-to-many. So I started with a freebie and putting myself out there probably 16 months before I launched our first class. And when I launched our first class, I gave it away free to 300 people. I didn't charge. I busted my ass, but I did not charge because I knew if I could create raving fans out of these 300 people, word would travel that everybody needed to take sales school. And that's exactly what happened. So one-to-one and then one-to-many and then one-to-many, many, many, many. So what I would say, I started about 16 months in advance collecting email addresses. To answer your question, do not have an ebook, but yes, have a lead magnet, have a freebie. And it can be the same content that you were going to put in an ebook, just don't call it an ebook. And then the third thing, was there one thing you thought, if only I had done this, this would have been faster or better quality? Yeah, it goes back to the answer to your first question. You cannot start too soon building an email audience. So if I wanted to sell my business is, a 7-figure business today. If I wanted to sell my business, the only thing I would have to sell is my email list and the process which I created, the content which I created. So your email list is crucial. Those customers are crucial. So if I had started building my email list sooner, I probably would have hit that, 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever, earlier. And what you need to know is 1 to 3% of your email list is going to convert. 1 to 3% of your email list is going to convert. So if you got 5 people on your email list, 1 to 3% of those people is not a lot of people. And I think that we get this sort of a pie in the sky. I don't know if y'all know what that means. That's a Southern thing, but we get this idea in our head. We see people having these 7-figure course launches, which is amazing, but we think, oh, I can do that. I've got great stuff to say and I can put a course out and I can teach people. And I fell victim to this too. And you can do that, but you need to know the numbers, because at the end of the day, the numbers don't lie. So if 1 to 3% of your email list is going to convert, then how big does your email list need to be for you to make real money selling an online product? And that is not to discourage you. That's just to tell you where it is. All the time people will say to me, I've got this course. It's great. I had it professionally filmed. I ran Facebook ads and it's not converting. And I'll say, well, how many people did you get in it? Well, I got 10. How many people are on your email list? 20. My God, you had a 50% conversion. That's better than anybody else out there. So then the email list size matters. So if I had it, and I'm still building my email list, like we still do that, even though we've hit, those revenue goals. And of course we want to continue to grow, but that's something that we never stop. I think we probably have about 15 or 20 freebies, opt-ins in our business now. So start that now. And if I had one thing to do over, that's what I would absolutely change. One thing I would not change is giving it away free to 300 people. One of the best things I've ever done in my business. Hey, Kendrick, I have a mobile pet grooming business and we recently added a Shopify store to our website. We're making maybe 20 or so sales a month, but our shipping times are still an issue. I'm so new at this and want to keep my customers happy, but I cannot compete with Amazon. Whoo, how can I keep my people happy when I'm not ever able to deliver the next day? Heather, this is a really good question. And I don't have a great answer for this, but similar to the bridal store example, what I would say is, all right, great. So we know what our competitors are doing, next day delivery. So what are some common things that we can do uncommonly well? If it's going to take us 4 days to deliver it, how can we blow our customer's mind? And I don't know what that answer is, but let's think about that. Is it with every delivery they get a free toy for their pet? Is it with every delivery they get, again, 10% off their next order? I don't know, but what I would say is you're right. We can't compete with Amazon, right, as far as shipping is concerned, but it doesn't mean we can't compete with Amazon. So one of the things that Sam Walton did when he started Walmart was he went to Kmart and he walked around, and Kmart was the big box store, a big box store. It was the giant. And he went to Kmart and he walked around and he saw all the things that Kmart did. And Sam Walton was a country boy. And didn't have loads of money. He had some success with five and dime stores in Bentonville, Arkansas, but it wasn't like he was a billionaire that we see him being now. So he went to Kmart, and in his autobiography, it talks about people saw him, like one time somebody was in Kmart and opened the racks, like was looking through the racks, and there Sam Walton was under the racks, like looking at the racks. He said, I'm just looking at the racks to see what they do. And he observed what they were doing. And then Sam Walton eventually opened one. It's hard to believe. One store right here in Bentonville, Arkansas. Actually, it was in Rogers, Arkansas. And that one store eventually outsold Kmart and eventually became, the most successful business, at least one of the most successful businesses ever. The point here is Sam Walton found a way to compete with Kmart. Kmart was everywhere. So he went and he watched what they were doing and he asked himself, how can we do this uncommonly well? How can we do, I don't know that that's the exact question he answered, but that's what he was trying to answer. What can we do different? I'm not going to have enough money to put stores all over the United States. I'm going to start with one store. And I'll tell you what he did. Sam Walton said, okay, great. If we can engage, he did a couple of things, but one of the things he said was if we can engage the whole family in a shopping experience, then we've done something really good. So at the first store, I'm pointing here because I live in Northwest Arkansas where this happened. But at the first store, he would have these big popcorn machines and animals in the parking lot and like a carnival-like experience. And what happened was that people would be driving by and kids would say, I want to go to the carnival that was in this big parking lot of store number 1 here in Bentonville, Arkansas. This is my dog Prada. She's our sales school mascot. And parents would turn in. They'd take their kids to the free carnival, or maybe the carnival cost $1, and then they go into Walmart. And that's how Walmart became Walmart, right there. So what Sam Walton did was he said, okay, we got people flooding into Kmart like Groves. We got people flooding into Amazon by Groves. I can't compete with them. I don't have the money right now. What can I do to draw people into my store? And so that's a question you need to answer for yourself. Is it a free dog toy? Is it a free, personalized card to the pet? I don't know. But something like that, it is possible to compete with the big boy. You just got to think a little bit outside of the box. Another place to start, Heather, is to think about retailers that you like to do business with. Why do you like to do business with them? What do they do? I like to shop at Nordstrom. I like to shop at Nordstrom because they can get nice clothes there, and they have a no questions asked return policy. So why do you like to shop places, and how can you translate that into your business? Hope that helps. Cindy says, hey, Kendrick, thanks for your advice about my webinar for gut health. My main product is GI supplements. What's the best way to structure to monetize? Free webinar with supplement upsell or paid webinar? Free webinar with supplement upsell. We love free. So I still do free webinars all the time. Look at me right here. I'm in here coaching to you find people free. And the point here is that if you're trying to make a name for yourself, then I gave sales school away free to 300 people. People need 7 to 10 touches with you before they decide if they trust you or your products or services enough to buy from you. Give the webinar away free and then upsell to the supplements. That's exactly what you do. Free to sell every single time, especially in the beginning. Robin says, Hi, Kendrick. For an artist who's in the process of building a strong foundation with a focus of developing a fresh portfolio and eliminating debt, what beginner sales training do I save for? She's thinking of sales training with Tom Black. Thank you. So yeah, I think Tom's a mentor in here. Sounds like he's got a great sales training. So that sounds like a good idea. I would ask myself, Robin, what are your an artist who's in the process of building a strong foundation. So I would ask myself, what are you selling? And it sounds like you're selling art. And where are you selling? So if you're going to sell in a store, then what I would say is great. We want to learn from somebody who sold art or who has sold in a brick and mortar store. If you're going to sell online, you want to learn from somebody who's selling online. So I need a little bit more information here, but I think that what I would say is you're thinking the right way. So the definition of selling is the exchange of money for a product or service. Without sales, your business is broke. Period. You can be the best artist in the world, the best marketer in the world. You can be the best product development person in the world. If you don't have sales, your business is broke by nature of the definition, the black and white definition, the exchange of money for a product or service. And so what I would say to you, Robin, is kudos. You're thinking the right way. You're thinking, you know, you need sales training. Fantastic. The other thing I would do is I would ask artists who are in the same genre as you. Have you taken sales training? Who did you learn from? So this is one of those areas where if you're going to save for it, and I would ask Tom. Tom's in here, right? So ask him, is this a good training for me? Most salespeople I know, especially that Sean's invited in here, are going to be honest with you. They're not going to say, yeah, absolutely take my sales training if they can't help you. So what I would say here is do your homework, and you'll know which one to take. All right, I have developed an online platform that connects clients, I've read this before, designers to clients and vice versa. The website is aimed at both students, emerging designers, and already established designers. We're set to go live within 2 weeks. We have managed to secure a meeting with somebody big who supports fast-growing businesses. She has access to 88 universities. We want to know what's the best way to secure her interest. We plan on offering a free subscription and will take no commission from the students for a year for any projects that they win on site. What do you think is the best approach? Great. So this is Lila's beautiful name. I know I've said that like 4 times, but I love this. I love this idea. So again, you do free, then one-to-one, then one-to-many, and that's essentially what you're saying here. I love this. Love this idea. We want to know what the best way is to secure her interest. We plan on offering a free commission. We'll take no commission. I mean, free subscription. We'll take no commission for a year for projects they went on site. I love this idea. I think it's a great idea. You're following the exact example: free, one-to-one, one-to-many. I love it. I love it. The only thing I would say is, do you need to do it free for a full year? Or could you do it free for half a year? But other than that, I think you've already secured the meeting. You've already done the hard part. That's the hard part. Give it away for free. Blow people's freaking minds. That's the key when you do free. You have to blow people's minds. You have to have people saying, I can't believe I got this for free. It's amazing. It's so good. Of course I would pay for it. Good luck. Let me know how it goes. 2 more questions. My brother and I are starting a side hustle as beginners. We're interested in e-commerce. We're in different countries. You're in Paris. Bonjour, mademoiselle. And he's in California. I suggested we would start with small wins and work up from there. What are your thoughts on starting small? Starting a Shopify t-shirt store seems the easiest way for me to accomplish the first action step. How do we find a niche? We both have shared interest. How do we find what our thing is? I would not start a Shopify store until you know what your niche is. You're gonna spend a whole lot of money making stuff if you haven't agreed on a niche. So it's hard enough to. I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but it's hard enough to find a niche for one person. When you're finding a niche for 2, it's really hard. I would recommend that you could look up a lady by the name of Bev Barnes, BEVBARNES. I think she's got some free training on finding your niche. There's also a lady named Susie Rowenstein who she's an authentic selling instructor, and I joke with her about her being the niche whisperer. And it sounds like, you know, you might be interested in doing these t-shirts, and he's going to design them. The other thing I would do is I would read this book, Millionaire Messenger by Brendan Burchard. It talks about a little bit about how to find your niche. And so I would have both of y'all read that. and then sit down and figure out what you want to do. I wouldn't spend a lot of money testing stuff until you're both in agreement. You know, setting up a Shopify store, making t-shirts, if you're not sold on that being your niche, and that's what I'm getting from this, I may have misunderstood, I wouldn't do it until you all feel, you know, 90% sure, yeah, this is the direction we want to go in. It's a hard thing. Now, what I will tell you is clarity comes from taking action. My dear friend Jenny, she taught me that. So I do think that by opening the t-shirt store, you'll get more clear about if this is what you want to do or not. And so that is one approach. But just know that don't sink a whole bunch of money into that. If you're going to open the t-shirt store or whatever, don't sink a whole bunch of money into it until you're sure. Maybe you open it and you play and then you read one of those books to be sure that y'all are on the same page. That's what I would recommend. Good luck. That's exciting. Kevin says, when you speak with a business owner about online strategies to increase their income, what do you do to not sound like an MLM company on your first conversation? So I let you comment on this and said, I'm happy to answer this on the call for you. I think this is an interesting question. So I've never heard this before. So I don't know. What do you do not to sound like an MLM company? Well, the first thing I would ask is, what are you saying that sounds like an MLM company? So why is it, I want to know, I've got a follow-up question, and that is, why do you think you sound like an MLM? The next thing is, I think that you know, if you don't want to be associated with something, straight up saying, this is not a multi-level marketing company. Straight up, like out of the box, this is not a multi-level marketing company. This is not an MLM. So it's not like Pampered Chef or Nerium or Plexus or whatever. This is a very different experience, and it's important that you know that straight out of the gate, because blah, blah, blah. So I think if you're trying not to be something, I would straight up say, this is not a multi-level marketing company. That's not what this is. And I would just be super direct about that and address that head on. Sometimes we try to dance around issues when the best way to do it is just to head on. So that's what I would do. In your pitch, I would ask myself, what is it? Why is it that you think that you sound like an MLM? And then how do we change that? But one of the first things I would suggest is saying, you know, that's not what this is. It is not an MLM. People sometimes confuse that. So I want to be really clear that what we do is we help you make money online, and it's not a multi-level marketing company at all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me for my mentor session, and most won't, I will. I've got a masterclass coming up here after the holidays, so we'll get all the information to you about that. I'm super excited to tell you all about that. We'll get that up here shortly. I've got some work to do to get it ready for you. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Sean, for having me, and I'll schedule another one of these after the holidays. I love coming in and answering questions. It's one of my favorite things that I do. I'm Kendrick Shope. You can find me here. You can find me taking over Sean's Instagram from time to time. You can find me on all the major social platforms as well. And I teach people how to sell more, do more what they love, make more money, and get more clients. That is my jam. Y'all have a happy holidays if you are in the States. See you soon.